We've got a couple different studies here, both corn and soybeans. In our soybeans, we have a pre-emergence sulfur plot where we put the sulfur down with the burn down. We've got that 2 different fields. We did that study last year, and last year was the first year that we put it down pre-emergence. Usually it had been post-emergence, but last year we put it down pre-emergence, and it also happened to be the first year that we ever saw a positive net return to those sulfur treatments. So we wanted to do that study again this year. Again, we've got it at 2 different locations, 2 different fields, 2 different farms, and we want to see how that plays out this year compared to last year. We also have it in corn, and we put it on in corn this year, and again, it's pre-emergence. It went in with the fertilizer at planting time, and we want to see again if that has any effect. When we've done corn before, it's been post-emergence as well. Didn't really see that consistent economic benefit on the corn side either. So we're doing them both pre-emergence this year just to see if that has any effect and if we can continue those results we saw last year. Because again, it's all about getting those consistent results.
It's like John had said earlier, in the past, we've tried a lot of things that one year they would be a yield increase, next year they wouldn't be. Maybe it'd be a 5% return on investment, maybe it would be a 10% return on investment, and then one year it would be a negative return on investment. I would like to see 5% is what I would like to see.
Yeah, and that return on investment, that economic return, that's what this is all about. And I know you've heard other farmers, I know David, I've heard David say this 100 times, he doesn't want to spend $1 just to make $1. Well, as far as the environmental concerns, I don't know a farmer who's not concerned about the environment. They live in this environment. Their family lives here, their kids, their grandkids, whatever. So they are concerned about doing things right with the environment. Okay, and that comes into every decision they make. Whatever input we're going to apply to these fields, to this farm, they consider, okay, is this harmful in any way? Is it going to hurt the water? Is it going to hurt air quality? How is this going to affect not only my operation, but the environment and the people around this area as well?
Well, the environmental aspect of this is very important. This week in particular, my granddaughter's here for a visit. She doesn't get here very often. And she's drinking out of the same well that we drink out of and everything else. And those things factor into your decisions. We want a healthy environment. This farm has got to last for several generations. This is not a one and done thing. At the end of the day, we all talk about sustainable agriculture and things like that. Well, that means making a profit. And if you don't take care of the farm today, it's not going to make a profit for a future generation. You can't just take and not put back.
I want to first start off by thanking Mitchem Farms, Dave and Emily Mitchem near Centerburg, Ohio, for working with us. We had 2 different plots. We used extract, which is a 60013 analysis, and we put that pre-emergence down for soybeans at a rate of 1 gallon per acre, and was replicated 4 times in each plot. We had really good weather this year for the growing season. And you can see the weather data that's included here. We had pretty consistent rainfall. We had around just almost 16 inches of rain throughout what I call the heart of the growing season there from April through September, and fairly consistent. We didn't go through really too many periods where it was really, really dry. No big weather extremes. So we had a good growing season. Our first plot, the treatment average of the 4 replications was 55.12 bushels. The non-treated area was actually almost 60.5, so we had just a little over a 5 bushel decrease where we applied the sulfur this year. We like to put economics to this as well. I used a cash bean price of $11.09, and that was a local cash price here in Elevator here, November 8th. The cost of the extract was $15 a gallon, and I used an $8 application charge, and we can debate the application charge a little bit. This was put down with our herbicide burn down program, but the net results in this plot, where we applied the sulfur, we lost about $81.78 per acre. In our second soybean sulfur plot, we had a little bit different results. Our treatment average was 54.79 bushel to the acre. Our non-treatment average was 52.9. So that resulted in a yield increase this time of about 2 bushel per acre, 1.89 bushels. We used the same economic analysis in this plot as we did the first one. And you can see on the table here, we ended up with still a negative net return of about $2 per acre. This year we had a sulfur product called Extract at the rate of 2 quart to the acre. This was put on through the planter at planting time. And with that, we also had a product called Black Max, which is basically a nutrient enhancer supposed to help with uptake of some of these other products. We put it on also at 2 quart to the acre through the planter at the same time. Our plots were replicated 4 times. And when you're looking at the corn, the average corn yield for the treated area was 260.79, so about 261 bushel to the acre. In the non-treated area, it was about 260 bushel to the acre. So that showed a yield increase of about a half a bushel, 0.48 bushel to the acre. Okay, so when we look at the economics of this, we used a cash harvest price for corn of $4.71 a bushel. We had the price of $17.50 an acre for the 2 quarts of Black Max and 2 quarts of extract. This time I did not include a application charge, and again, we can debate that. So the bottom line on the economics, with a half bushel yield increase, we still lost $15.23 per acre to the sulfur treatment. These findings are really pretty similar to what we see most years here in our plots. Last year in soybeans, we did show a little bit of an economic advantage to sulfur, but most years there's either a 0 net return or a negative net return to sulfur. We're just not seeing that consistent positive net return that we need to look at this as something we're going to add to our operations all the time.
You want to talk about how great John is? I mean, in all honesty, OSU Extension and John, our agent, has been a really good thing for agriculture in the state of Ohio in general. John's work with precision agriculture takes him to the Farm Science Review and to a lot of other places to put on demonstrations and show people how easy it is to get into precision agriculture. It has made a huge difference for us on this farm. John's been at the forefront of that for especially us here in the county, but even at a larger scale statewide. Financially, it's been great for everyone. We couldn't get the numbers that we get. We couldn't generate the amount of data that we get without John being willing to do that.
Well, we've been doing on-farm research for just about as long as I've been here in the county, and that's going on 31 years. But the thing eFields has really done is that's put not only some of the stuff that we're doing here in Knox County, but some of the stuff that's being done all over the state. And farmers can see that now, and they can see, hey, okay, we see what happened here in Knox County, but this also happened in Delaware County, or this happened in Tuscarawas, or wherever. And they can see all that data together in one nice, neat place, consistent format. And we're seeing guys make changes to their operation based on some of these research plots that they're seeing, not only in Knox County, but in other parts of the state as well.
But you talk about passing it on to the next generation. I don't know that my kids will be the ones that do it. I don't know that. They're certainly going to have the opportunity if they want to do that and pursue it. The question was asked to me today. It would be my daughter. She really has a lot of interest in it. She's really hands-on with the livestock. She likes making show pigs and going to hog shows and things like that. That's where I see it going. My son is in Missouri, and I don't see that him being here for a few years, but when he's old enough to retire, I would expect him to be back here too. I have grandchildren now. I don't know if they're going to want to do it. If just some young person from the neighborhood wants to do it. I still have to have it environmentally, nutritionally, whatever term you want to use. I have to have it in a state that they can just take it and go with it.
Well, I think in the next few years, we're going to see a lot of change take place in the ownership or the management, I guess I should say, of these farms. There's a lot of guys that are roughly my age in that early 60 to late 60 age range that are thinking about cutting back a little bit or thinking about retiring. And, when I think about Knox County and look into the future a little bit, 5 years, 10 years from now, we're going to see a big change in who's managing those farms. And we're not seeing a lot of on-farm heirs coming up. Maybe there's some grandsons, maybe there's a few children that want to come in and do it, but we're not seeing a lot of that. So I really, one of the concerns I have, and I know some of the farmers I work with have, is, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, who's going to be managing these farms here in Knox County?
Want to learn more? Visit the link on screen to get your copy of this year's eFields report.